Hello everyone and welcome back to another buff breakdown. So on Saturday we got the release of the Strange Fate collab event, and now only 2 days later we are already starting to see buffs, and I am very pleased to see these buffs. We got 2 skill buffs lined up for today. First of all, Richard got buffed. Yes, his first ever buff, of course. And yeah, I'm semi-surprised, but not overly surprised. I think it was reasonable, especially considering how badly Logres did him dirty. So he definitely got a buff. And then, very funnily enough, since we already talked about it very recently, Penth finally got her first buff as well. Thank freaking God. It's like 8 years later after her release or something. I don't even know how long she's been in the game. Like, way too long without any single buff. So I'm very happy to see her get buffed as well here. Alright, let's start by talking about the Richard buff. So it's a buff to his third skill. So previously on a 6-turn cooldown, he got 30% battery on use, 500% Buster Star Absorb for 3 turns, 50% Buster Crit damage for 3 turns, and 20 stars on use. Kind of surprising they buffed this skill of all the skills, because I think this was already a pretty good one. I like the crit synergy there, and the battery is a nice bonus. Granted, this is the main reason why people were hoping he would be triple Buster, if anything. Unfortunately, he's not, but let's see what they did. So now on the same 6-turn cooldown, he still gets the 30% battery and the same absorb, but hey, the Buster crit damage was up from 50% to 100% for 3 turns. And the stars remain the same, but another new line that they added is that he now gets 30% anti-balanced alignment power mod for 3 turns. So it's basically the neutral on the second half of the alignment tree. Like chaotic balance, neutral balance, lawful balance, etc. Stuff like that. Very interesting. It's not a massive change, I'll say that for immediately. The Buster crit damage going to 100% is great, but again, I still think it's a rather awkward thing that he's not triple Buster, unfortunately. But hey, his 2 Buster cards will crit that much harder now. And he was a man who actually had 0 anti-traits. No power mods, no super effective on MP either. So yeah, now he actually has something. It is only 30%, but this is a kind of a rare one. I haven't really seen anti-balance. In fact, is there any other anti-balance server in the game? Let me know in the comments, because I can't from the top of my head at least think of any. So at least it does offer an interesting niche, and because it's an alignment, it's semi-common-ish still to see. And I would wager that a lot of Lancers probably have balanced. Not sure about Berserkers, maybe not so much, you know, understandably so. But a lot of Lancers probably do have this on their second side of the alignment tree. So will this really be a big impact? Unfortunately, I want to say no. But I do like that they buffed him, because, you know, he definitely felt pretty weak compared to Logres, unfortunately. But anyone would after that, so... honestly, I still don't think he was in a dire need of a buff. But hey, they did one anyway, and it's a cool buff, I would say. On the Saber tier list this year, we had him on a flat A, and with this, maybe there could be some arguments to consider A+, potentially... Maybe, but maybe for now I'll just keep him right where he is. Right, next up we have the buff to Penth, so let's check it out. So it's a buff to her third skill, and unlike Richard, yeah, I can see why. Previously on a 5-turn cooldown, the full party got 18% attack for 3 turns. That was it. It was a base charisma. So another base charisma has been buffed, because now we have the Queen of the Amazons. That is the new skill name as well. So now, on the same 5-turn cooldown, the attack up was up to 20%, so it looks a bit nicer, because 18 is a weird number. But now, 2 new lines, she gets 30% gauge on use, and ignores defense for 3 turns. Wow. Definitely feels way more modern. This also means that of the 4-star single-target Berserkers, she's definitely one of the ones that can use her MP easier than most of the others, because she already had this 20% gauge per turn on her second skill too. So now having a 30% flat battery on top, it's pretty interesting. There could maybe even be some multi-core application here. Problem is that she still doesn't really have any crazy anti-trade minus the Greek mythology male one. But if a farming node actually happens to have this, it is 100%, which is a lot. So in that case, offering the party AoE like Buster and attack, suddenly, I don't know, we might have something actually here. For bosses, I still think she is almost unusable because she has 0 defense. She's very fragile as a 4-star berserker. She can literally die to a random ass crit, which has happened many times with my free-to-play as well. So this doesn't really affect that at all. Just a small damage increase and some utility. But mostly, I want to say this actually might make her a viable farmer in very rare cases. But it's still a use case, I want to say. Is it a big one? Maybe not, but hey, again, I can't emphasize this. This is the first buff she has received ever. How is she not buffed before this? I still cannot fathom. She's a permanent 4-star berserker. The fact that this is her first buff ever, like, look at the rest of her kits. Like, look at this. How is it so empty? Like, it's crazy that this is her first buff to me. But thank God it finally happened. Like, what, 7 or 8 years later? God. Anyway, yeah, very happy for Penth regardless. On our Berserker tier list, I think we actually bumped her down from like C+ to C. With this, easy back to C+. Maybe... Am I jumping the gun? No, I'm gonna say frick it. I'm just gonna put her into B already. I think with this, she might have that farming application. Having that battery is something that most of her other competition don't have at all, so that definitely is a nice little bonus for her compared to the others. And ignore defense can be cool, which I also think from what I remember, the others don't really have that either. So yeah, Penth definitely feels better now, but still could use a lot more love. I'm not gonna lie. Even B might still be generous. I don't know yet, but there you go. So wow, yeah, day 3 and the buffs are real. Very happy with this. Even if the buffs are maybe not game-breaking, still very cool buffs regardless. Now I'm hoping they're gonna keep doing more buffs because this is very early on in the event still, so I'm very hopeful for more. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it. It really helps out, of course. And do subscribe not to miss out on future videos. Ring that bell, of course, to not miss out. I'll cover buffs whenever they come out. I'll hopefully try and cover Banner 2 on day 1 of the event as well. Still not sure if there's going to be a tier list this week. If Banner 2 happens to line up on Saturday, that might mess up our plans, but you'll still see videos regardless, don't worry. Shout out to my patrons on the screen right now for supporting the channel, and otherwise have a great rest of your day, and see you in the next video. Bye.